Hey Mike, it's me Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at the Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece box set. And this is Marnie from 1964. And it's quite a film. It really is. It's, I suppose, classed as a psychological thriller. It seems so much more than that. This is something, a film that I've never seen before either. This is a first time watch for me, and it's one I've not really heard anything about. And I'm wondering why. Yes, I really am. Now let's get into it. It's 130 minutes long. Just sailed by for me. I suspect some people wouldn't get on with this. I really do. I can see they think it was a bit slow in places. It's not slow at all. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. Rotten Tomatoes give it 83%, but that is more to do with the critics now appreciating how good this film is. At the time, there was a lot of hostility to this, and I think a lot of people just didn't get this film at all. Oh, they didn't want to get it. There was a reaction against it to some extent. I mean, in terms of box office, it didn't do too bad. It was a budget of $3 million, and it took in box office $7 million. So it made a profit. But again, I don't think the audience was quite sure what it was getting. Even the trailer implies, what is this film? What is it? Is it a mystery? Is it a crime film? Is it a sex film even? A romance film? What is this film about? And that may have confused the audience. Hitchcock plays on that, certainly in the trailer, but yes, this is well worth wondering about. It really is. It's a film you can speculate and talk about. Anyhow, before I start rabbiting on you and get on with it. Right. The screenplay is by J. Preston Allen, who wasn't one of the original screenplay writers, but the other two, for various reasons they used and looked at, he eventually chose this lady to do the script. She went on to do some quite interesting films. She did The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, which is an award-winning film, 1969, and also Cabaret. Yeah, Cabaret, 1972, and Funny Lady, 1975. Very successful films. She was a screenplay writer for that. Now, this is based on a novel that Hitchcock had around and was even going to do after Psycho, which was Marnie. The book novel was by an English author, Winston Graham, who is famous for doing the Poldark books. Yeah, Poldark. But yeah, he kept this book, but he was hoping to get Grace Kelly. I think that's who he wanted in mind. And she'd even possibly agreed to this. But various reasons, because of situation, marriage now, and as she was a princess, it just didn't happen. So, as a director, here we are again with Hitchcock producing something very special, I think. I really think so. All his experience of techniques are just here to the fore. What a director. But this film also marks a change in some aspects. Of the last, his production crew, his cinematographer and editor, it's the last films that they do. Sadly, they die. The music, Bernard Herrmann's this is the last real script that a musical score that he does with him. He was fired from doing Tom Curtain, which was the next one, 1966. So we've got that. Also, it's seen as the last one with a blonde lead. You know, one of the Hitchcock blondes. And of course, in a way, it's natural that Tippi Hedren did this after a performance in The Birds. Apparently, in The Birds, he actually said that he wanted her in this role, and you know, I think because of what happened with Grace Kelly, I think would have been great in this role, but I've got to say that Tippi Hedren, well, she gives such a great performance. Her performance is outstanding. It really is. Locations, we've got in San Jose, California, Unionville Village in Pennsylvania. Let's see, Middlesburg in Virginia, Mays Landing, New Jersey. But as you can see when you're watching, Hitchcock wants everything in the studio, so he's mixed those locations very much with how he views the studio, and it looks great. That's another thing. It all weaves together beautifully. It was filmed November the 26th, 1963. Now, originally it was going to be filming starting on the Monday, but this was the weekend after the assassination of Kennedy, and there was like a sort of national day of mourning, and so it was done after that. And then it went from the 26th of 1963 to the 14th of March 1964. That was the filming. So let me get into the cast. The cast, as I mentioned her, but was Tippi Hedren, who plays Marnie. Of course, in The Birds, she was fantastic, and in this, she's even better. Really, yeah. She went on sort of films that do really stand out. A Countess from Hong Kong, 1967, which was Charlie Chaplin's last film, and more modern era, we could see 1990, Pacific Heights, a film that I absolutely think is fantastic. She was in that. Just various other roles, but a lot more TV series. A great career she had. But I think she'll always be remembered with her association with Hitchcock. Then we've got a brilliant performance from Sean Connery, who plays Mark. Sean Connery, I think, is an actor that, you know, you think James Bond, but when you start to look at the other films and things that he did, wow, yeah. But anyhow, this was in, he'd done Dr. No in 1962, and then he'd done From Russia with Love, and I think this is the same year that it was released, was doing Goldfinger. Sean Connery did 6 official James Bond films, and that's his association, and there was one unofficial one. But I mean, I was just looking at some of the films. I don't want to. You could just carry on and on naming somehow. Well, Zardoz is a very interesting one that he did in 1974. Robin and Marion is a really lovely film. That's from 1976, about an older Robin Hood. Then there's a classic, and it really is Outland, 1981, a sci-fi western. Islander, what can you say? Islander classic, 1986. The Untouchables. What a performance in The Untouchables. That's 1987. And then I'll just say Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1989. What a performance. And then I could go on and on because he made so many great films, but they're just ones that just stick out. But I think he's an underrated actor in many ways. And his performance in this, Hitchcock does him really well. And I think a lot of people really liked him in this role. And he's not quite the typical Hitchcock hero. He's not like Cary Grant or like that, of James Stewart. He's not a James Stewart, but he's really good. He's excellent, and it's a kind of, you see, that's what I mean. What is this film? Is he a romantic lead? You could say he is, but he's not your typical romantic lead at all in this. And this is what's good about his performance, And we're seeing him there as James Bond. It's a long way from James Bond. Next, we've got Diane Baker playing Lil. She plays Mark's former sister-in-law, who's really in love with him still, fancy her chances. She was in Diary of Anne Frank, 1959. She was in The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. She was in The Net, 1995. The Cable Guy, 1996. And a whole stack of TV series and films. What a career she had. Then we've got Louise Latham playing Bernice, who was Marnie's mother. Wow. What a performance again. I mean, it's not a massive role, but it's an important role. She is wonderful in this. She was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents 1965 episode. She was in one of them. Again, it's a career in TV films and TV movies, and there's a whole big stack of them. So that's the leading cast members. So you're saying, what is this about? It's the story of Marnie. She seems to be, she is an habitual liar. She lies, and she's a thief. And she goes round from job to job, basically, doing a place and moving on, taking the money. But she's got very big psychological problems. And she comes across Mark, who is very interested in her. And he falls in love with her. Yes. But it's through him that we see how she has to confront these psychological problems, which all go back to her past and events that happened. And maybe he can help her resolve them. She's got so many problems, and he's brilliant because he sees these problems and wants to help her. And it's a great role, as I say, in this film. And this is a great story. But yeah, it's not one that's necessarily very popular. Hitchcock going into the psychology again of everything. But he does it beautifully. As I say, this film it's got all this psychological stuff. And it's almost like from his roots, apparently, of German expressionism. The use of colour. The whole use of symbolism. Explaining traumas. We hadn't seen it before. It's amazing. It just does it so well. And of course, it's a bit controversial in some of the aspects. There's an implied rape scene in here. And the censors, he managed to push certainly the censors certain areas in this film, but it works so well. It's something that we've not seen from Hitchcock quite so well. I think it's quite so blatantly, stridently in front of you on the screen, and it's beautifully filmed. There's some great scenes in this, and it blew me away, this film, because I'd never seen it before. I absolutely thought, this is what filmmaking is about, and why I can see now why Hitchcock is so revered. It's amazing. It's just such a great performance. Highly recommend this. I really, it's something I want to watch again and again. It's that good. It really is. Anyhow, before I go, there it is, the box set. Yes, it's a great box set. I'm really enjoying it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Have a look in the playlist and see what else I've done. And hopefully you might enjoy them. And if you like this video, please give it a like. Gets out onto YouTube and all algorithms. And if you got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments. I do. Thank you so much. Please. I really do. And it all costs notes. You can't say fairer than that, can they? Buy it, you can't. So, all I gotta say is, I'll see thee again.